Well, hello, hello, hello. There's my friend Barbara. How are you? Or Barb, how are you? Oh, Lordy, guys. It has been a week. It has been a week. I know I probably say that every week, don't I? The little kitten is doing good, guys. The little kitten is a monster. You know, we found her in Alabama, and I'm going to name her Abby. No, I'm going to name her Allie. Uh, Allie. I don't know which, but right now I'm just calling her Allie, and sometimes Allie Cat when she's scratching me. I've got scratches and cuts all over me, guys. The little heathen. Those little toenails are ridiculous, and their baby teeth are even worse. Oh, I'm talking about horrible, horrible, horrible. In fact, speak of the devil, here she is. Hey, Jerry. Jerry, I've been running. I didn't get to comment on yours, but I was trying to listen. And it's going live. You know, I use YouTube. This is the little devil. And she has, she has really been growing like crazy. You know, she wasn't hardly much bigger in her head when I found her. Ow, you little devil. Let me see if I can get her to get down. Get down, monkey. Ugh. But hey, there's Glenn. How are you? We are going to eat now. Okay, Jerry, thank you so much. Glad to have you in here. But yeah, I'm gonna wait a few minutes and give you all the results of the puppies and everything. I don't know if y'all saw that video. Some of you did, some of you didn't. Rosie had 2 puppies, and they were absolutely beautiful. One weighed 2.2 ounces. The other one weighed 3.5 ounces. Rosie's barking at or growling at her. For some reason, Casper just loves the little kitten to death, and Casper lets her crawl all over him and play with her hair and sleep with her and everything else. Hey, Arlene, haven't seen you in a while. But doggone it, she wants to play with Rosie, and I guess it's because Rosie don't want nothing to do with her. Now, if she's out in the yard, Rosie tries to play with her, but Rosie jumps around. You know, Rosie's so spaz and always has been real spazzy. I have always accused her of being on crank or coke or something since she was a crackhead. Yeah, it has been horrible. But we'll give it a couple of more minutes and see who else gets in here, guys. It was just bad last week with all the stuff going on, and I'll be honest with y'all, I have just been down and out and kind of halfway depressed. Let me see if I can pull this down a little bit. Kind of halfway depressed, I think. Don't really know what to say other than that. We'll give it a minute or two, see who else is going to pop in before I give y'all any more details on the baby. I went to the, we had a new auction open up here in Ramburn, Alabama. Had been one there many, many years ago, and they opened it back up. Hey, there's Tamra, I'm assuming. How are you, hon? Good to see you in here. Yeah, but anyway, I decided to take a couple of my rabbits because I had several boys that I did not need. I sold the ironhead and the big gray rabbit that was big brown rabbit that was so huge. And I also decided that I'm not going to process the hogs by myself. Joey and I talked about it. And so we just decided to eliminate them from my never processed a hog on my own, guys, and it's quite a job. And with my health the way it is and things seems to be getting worse, I just decided that was one headache that we didn't need. So I loaded up the pigs, and I did a little video of it, but they were so easy to load up to put in their little cages that we made that I don't even know if I'll do a live on it. A video on it, even though we did some videoing. She's down here on the floor playing with a laptop cord, so I'm hoping she don't snatch it off of here where I got it. Little heathen. So, hey, there's Ed. Hello, Ed. How are you? So anyway, I took the two cooney pigs, the female and the male, and I paid $20 for the cooney female and $16 for the cooney male at the Clay County sale. They just had a bunch of them, and by the time I bid, they were selling real cheap. Well, I took them up there, and I got $100 for the female and $125 for the male. So you're talking about shocked. I was absolutely shocked. Did pretty good on the rabbits too, but I was especially floored about the how much the pigs brought up there. And now I don't know, I guess it's a government regulation or something. Nobody is allowed to sell pigs unless you have a concrete floor to run them through on and all kinds of stuff. Look, I got a clip right here stuck on my clothes, guys. But anyway, if you got a concrete slab, they can run them through. It's the government is getting our whatever that handles all that agriculture, whatever it is that handles that kind of stuff, have started a whole lot of more regulations. And so I had my pigs in separate crates, and so they went ahead and run them through as caged animals since they were in cages. And so that's how they sold them, but they told us that they would not be taking any more pigs. So I guess I done real good with mine, getting them there like I did, not knowing any better. They said that they had just passed that and they wouldn't be taking any more. And this coming weekend up in Cookeville, Tennessee, they have an exotic sale. And I am told that there's anything there from, hey, girl, don't knock that off. Trying her best to knock my laptop off. From a hairless guinea pig to a darn camel might be at that sale. So I'm hoping that I can go to it. It's according to what the weather is like. It's this coming weekend coming up. So I don't know if I'll make it or not, but it would be fun just to go. Hate to have to drive a horse trailer that far, but you know how that way. Hey, Ed. Ed says he is headed home from work. Glad to have you in here. Hope you enjoy it. But anyway, we got a few more folks in here. I'll go ahead and tell y'all. Rosie's boobies, her little nipples did not stick out enough for the puppies. It didn't stick out at all. In fact, the vet called it inverted nipple. I forget the exact term. And he said it was more common in cows. And I've never heard of it in cows and horses. Where the bag swells so much that it spreads the nipples out. But she was really engorged, and I was trying to milk her every day to try to get where the babies could get some milk. And you know, I don't know if you guys ever tried to milk a teeny tiny Yorkie, but you don't get but a drop or two every time. It's horrible. So I had took her to the vet and the puppies, and he showed me how to do the tube feeding, where you have to put a tube down their throat into their stomach. He showed me all about how to do that. And they were doing great on the tube feeding, gaining weight and everything. But Rosie is a really nervous, spazzy, anxious dog. That's all I can say. And every time we'd have a noise or somebody knock on the door or anything, she would grab one of the puppies up and try to hide with it, even though I had them in a crate, you know. But she would hold them in her mouth, and I couldn't get her to put it down. And, you know, I'd try to get her real quiet and get her to calm down. Well, anyway, she ended up injuring the littlest, the 2.2 ounce little girl first. Beautiful baby, guys. Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Had more black than white, tiny bit of brown on her. I mean, she was just absolutely perfect. In fact, my granddaughter, my oldest granddaughter, had done said, Nana, I want this puppy right here. And so, you know, she went first. I think she actually crushed her little ribs carrying her. And that was on, I don't even remember what day now, guys. It's been so crazy. But then a few days later, she did the same thing with the other little girl. So we are definitely going to get Rosie fixed. There will be no more puppies. That will be her first and last litter. She's always been real spazzy and high maintenance, high wound. She gets excited about things and just barks, and you can't get her to shut up. So it is a super sad situation. It was sad for both of us, for everybody around. You know how that goes. But it's the life you have to deal with when you have uh, little dogs. I mean, I've lost them. The biggest puppy, by the way, was born backwards. When I realized I knew she was in labor, but I did not realize that it was coming out backwards, guys. And the poor little thing was backwards, and I worked on her for over 30 minutes, finally getting her to breathe and move around pretty good and give her back to her mom. So I was really invested in that one and was super sad when we lost it. So, most people, if they going to lose them when they're tube feeding, lose them in the first day or two. So it made it that much worse to lose this one. And, after it done lived over a week, but that's just part of it. And you can't cry over spilt milk when you got to expect that stuff like that happens. But anyhow, while we're talking, the Jersey wool rabbit female that we got, and she is super fluffy, guys. I don't know if you know what a Jersey wool is, but they're beautiful little rabbits with lots and lots of hair. She is pulling fur, so it should be any time for her. I have her shavings in her bed, in her little nesting box, and she's whittled her out a little hole in there, and now she's pulled a lot of hair, and she had hair, lots and lots of hair in there today, but no baby still. So we're going to wait. Maybe tomorrow, the next day, we're going to have little tiny Jersey wool babies, y'all. So I'm so excited. Oh, there's Red Dirt Rooster Road. Hello, hello. Good to see you in here. Yeah. But so it was sad, it's always sad, but we're excited about the new life of the little bunnies. And I thought the black and white one was bred, but she's not acting bred at all. And she should be right about having babies too. So I don't know what's going on with her. She's not started pulling any fur, and she may be one of those that waits to the very last minute. You know how that goes. So we will see. I'll let y'all know in the next few days, I guess, what she's going to do. Because it's already the first of the, 1st of November. Hey, Des, how are you, dear? Good to have you in here. I was just telling everybody, I don't know if you heard, but Rosie lost both of her puppies. And the kitten is driving me nuts. And I don't know if you guys can see all these scratches and cuts and scrapes all over me. She hung me on the inside of my nose the other day, guys, and I felt like slinging her across the room. But that's the way it is when they're teething. She's teething, and those little claws are out all the time. She's not learned to control her claws, so the little heathen is. She's a hellion, that's for sure. She's starting to climb on all the furniture. In fact, I came in here today, and she was climbing up, had my sweater hanging on the back of the chair in the kitchen, and she was climbing up my sweater fixing to get on the table, and I knocked her down real quick and let her know that the table is off limits. The kitchen counters and the tables are off limits, guys, and our bed. So, yeah, that's the way it goes, guys. But that's just the way it is. Had them before that they learn, they learn what they can do and what they can't do. And if you don't let them know right off the bat, they will sure train you. They'll train you instead of you training them. So I've seen a lot of people that let their animals get on the counters and get on the tables and stuff, but that's not something that I want ever to happen here. So we're not going to allow any critters to get on our tables. In fact, she's climbing up the chair right now, guys. Oh, you're coming up here to visit again? Come on, Munchkin. Come on, you can get up here. She likes to climb up here and get on my shoulder. And I don't know if she likes playing in my hair or if and she'll get up there and actually go to sleep. But she will get up here and climb around and stick her little tail all in my face. Hey, Munchkin. But she's sweet as she can be, other than the scratching, and she'll learn how to handle those claws before long, and that'll be that much better. Especially when I reach and get her, trying to get her to uh, go eat or whatever. She's got to where she's starting to come when I call her. I'll say, "Come on, Allie, come on, Allie," and she'll come running. But then the dogs come running too. And then today she tried to chase Casper's ball, so that didn't go over good. Casper will share a lot, but he's not sharing that ball. He don't even want Rosie to share his ball with him. And he gets all flustered and out of shape if Rosie ever gets his ball. So that's just the way it goes, guys. That's just the way it is. Where are you going? Where are you going, Toodles? But anyway, oh, so I hope everybody else is having a good week. Other than that, we got several good rains here. We sure needed them. I guess some of the rain is coming off of get down, little munchkin, get down. Coming off of these hurricanes, I guess, that were out in the Gulf. Thank God they did not hit the East Coast up through there, even though they did have some erosion and some damage. They lost some houses in Outer Banks, which was sad. But you know how that goes. It could have been a whole lot worse. So I'm at least proud that we didn't get the damage here that they got in the Bahamas. That was really horrible, guys. And other areas over that way, the Bahamas is just a big place, for so many people getting hurt and damaged up there. So we need to keep all those people in our prayers, and anyone that lost anything here also, homes and all. So I think there were quite a few homes, 4 or 5 homes that sunk into the water up there in the Outer Banks, North Carolina. So anyway, yep, that's right. Dad says kittens will be kittens, and that's for darn sure. But we've been piddling around here, got several things done around here today. We had a pine tree it was a dead pine. Joey called me this morning and said that I had pine tree down on he calls it my empire, because that's what we nicknamed his pile over there. It is on his property, where he stores metal and just stuff that you don't want to throw away, but you want to keep in case you need it. I got tin and fence posts and iron posts and wooden posts and just other cages and telephone poles, and different things. And I got them down there in that lower paddock. So anyway, a tree had fell across there and across my fence there on the property line. It was actually a tree on the opposite side, but of course it fell on ours, so we had to get it up. So we had to get out there and get that up today. I didn't do any videoing, guys. It was a dead pine, quite a few limbs broken off and stuff, but at least it was not super heavy, being it was dried out dead pine. So we were glad about that. My 2 little quail that hatched out, I had set out a dozen quail eggs. Here you come again. We had a dozen quail eggs, and 6 of them turned out to be duds right off the bat. And then we had 4 that were started, and then something happened, I don't know, inside the egg or whatever, and they just didn't develop anymore. And then on top of that, we had anyway, we ended up with two little quail out of 12 that actually survived. And they were not big as a minute. These are little bobwhite quail. And I'm hoping that they're 2 girls. And Joey said, what luck would I have if one was a boy and one was a girl? And, that's almost too much to ask for. But anyway, I will just keep watching and waiting and trying to find some more quail here in the next few days, week or 2, month or whatever, that I can put with them when they're grown. So anyway, I've been wanting bobwhite quail for quite a while. It's hard to find bobwhite around here. I don't know about where you guys are. You can find a lot of those cochin, however you say it, quail like MT Homestead has, Mike at MT Homestead have. But they're everywhere. And I've had them before, but they're so plentiful that you don't they're not worth selling. You can't afford to feed them. I mean, to buy feed for them if you can't sell them, and they just grow like crazy. So I have really worried trying to get some bobwhite quail, and I got some last year. And then something managed to get the door open and got them all. I had 20 that I'd gotten from a friend of mine's brother-in-law. Works at one of these, it's a hunting facility, plantation, whatever, that does the dog. They go around and you ride mounted on a horse, and your dog goes around, and when he points, they have to get off of their horse and they have to go over there, and the dog, then they give the signal, the dogs can move then, and he flushes, and then they shoot. But of course it's a powder shot, as they're not really killing the bird. And I forget what those field trials or something, what I think they're called, field trials, guys. And I've rode in them a bunch of times, but never really paid that much attention. I believe they're called field trials. But anyhow, so anyway, he got me up some babies last year, and he said he'd get me up some more this coming spring, because I told him he'd get some more last year, but it was late in the season by the time I got around to thinking about it and getting everything fixed back up. And so he said that he would wait, and I told him I'd just get some in the spring. But then I ended up getting these eggs, and I thought, well, if I can hatch out 9 or 10 of them, there's bound to be a few females in the bunch. See, usually you'll have more females than you will males in that situation. So, but that wasn't the case. We only got 2, so that's just my luck, the way it's been going here lately. But we got those new critters. And then Joey had taken this little monster out to out in the yard and had him running around and playing. And our other cat, Cinnamon, the swirl, whichever y'all want to call him, I call her Cinnabon. My granddaughter calls her swirl, because her pattern on her is kind of round, comes around in a circle, kind of like a cinnamon roll. Anyway, so they call her Twirl and Swirl. I'll get it out in a minute. They call her Swirl, and she had been playing with Swirl, and she got sleepy. Well, Joey wasn't paying good enough attention because the grandkids come up, and he said it hadn't been, somewhere between 5 and 6 minutes, and he looked back down, couldn't find the kitten. And so they looked for 2 hours trying to find the kitten, and she finally come in out of Joey's shop, and she'd been in there asleep somewhere. She done found her a comfortable spot and went to sleep. So he thought she had done disappeared. No, the grandkids were here, and they were freaking out, and they had done searched this whole place. He said they went down to Tanya's thinking that, she might have followed Rosie down there, because she does. So for some reason, she is dead set and determined that Rosie is going to be her best friend. And Rosie does not want to be her best friend, even though Rosie's fine with her outside. But she is jealous of her in the house, especially when Rosie will be sitting up in my chair and I'm watching TV or looking at somebody's video live or something like that. Like tonight, she was sitting in my chair, and this little monster climbed up in the chair and decided that she was going to play with Rosie's hair, and Rosie growled at her. She hasn't snapped at her. She just growls, but it makes me nervous. And when we go somewhere, we put her in her crate. She's got a bed in there and a potty litter box in the crate, so if she has to go, and that way we don't have to worry about in case Rosie gets too rambunctious with her. But she's so funny because she's still little enough. She crawls under the door at night because I stay up later, and the dogs go to bed right at 9:00 every night, guys. I mean, they let me know if it's 9:00. They're coming and whining and looking at me and coming toward the kitchen because it's time for their night treat. And they know that as soon as they get that treat, they can go to bed. And they don't care about the going to bed. They just want that treat, and they know it's time for it. So anyway, this little devil has got to where she climbs under the door because there's a gap about, I don't know, 1.5 inches or something like that. And she's still little enough she can get under that door. So she goes in there and worries them in the dark. And then in a little while, she'll show back up. And if she's not there, she's playing on the legs up underneath this table. It is hilarious. The little devil, she's just the right color. Our table and chairs are kind of an ebony color. It's kind of a blackish brown, and she just blends right in. And you got to really look for her to see the little devil. I've come in here at night with just the night light on, and I had to get a flashlight to try to find the little monster. So normally she'll get in there and get right up under me, and she'll get sleepy and she'll get right up in my lap and go to sleep like she's trying to do now, little monkey. Yeah, little monkey. But anyway, so uh she's a good little kitty, and the dogs are good. You know, Rosie's just a little bit jealous of her when she gets too close to me. She's super jealous if she gets up in Joey's lap. So Rosie lets her know that that's not where she belongs, that Joey is her daddy. More so than me, because, you know, she goes in the car every time Joey cranks the car up. She flies out there like she's supposed to be with him every time he walks out the door and the car cranks. She's supposed to be in there. But as far as we know, all the other critters are doing good. The sheep are getting fat, but none of them started bagging up. They're not supposed to be bagging up yet, so I think they're going to do good. We hauled that tree back here and got it in a pile. Oh, thank you, thank you. I almost called her Two-Face because she's got the right there on her face. One side's so dark, and the other is the other. The other side is different. But anyhow, she's getting more light color on her now. But when we first got her, she was really distinct. One side was real dark compared to the other. So I have the Katahdin. So I think that's how you say it, sheep, the hair sheep. But mine are not purebred. So down the line somewhere, they've had the wool sheep mixed in them. So in the wintertime, some of them get more wool or fur on them, but it comes out in the spring. So it's not a wool that stays. So anyway, if you know what I'm trying to say. And then I have the goats. I've got a pygmy and dang, I'm losing my mind. Pygmy and Nubian. Is it Nubian? Goat? Is it I think it's Nubian. Dang, guys. You know my, you got the Katahdin too. Hair sheep. Yeah, they're really good sheep, guys. They're really gentle. So far, I've not had bad luck with the Rams either. They've not been aggressive or mean, even when they got 2 years old or so. And I always sell my males, guys. I keep the females and sell the males. And then every year or so, I swap out a male with somebody that's got completely unrelated males. You sell your little Kiko goats. Okay, mine are, it's not the pygmy, but it's the next size up from the pygmy. If you know what that is, I cannot remember. My brain just went right over my head. But goats are bringing a really good price. But now sheep were bringing outrageous prices at that new sale. So I'm hoping that it stays up there like that, so that when I go after the boys are born and doing good, don't bite me, you little devil, that we won't have any problems with that. But they're so friendly, and they're just really good, easy sheep and goats to raise. Got rid of all of them I had this past year. I've got 5. So past season. So I have 5 that I'm starting out with this year, and they're already getting bellies on them. So we're hoping we have twins at least on all of them. Last year we had 2 or 3 that had single births, and the rest of them had twins. But dang, we got all boys this past season. I think we got 2 girls out of all of them this season, and then we lost one of them. So I ended up getting rid of all the ones that I had this past year. And other than that, things are going about like we expected around here. I have got lemons on my Meyer lemon tree, guys, and I've got to get out there and get them picked. And I pinched off some flowers that were coming on my Harvey lemon. And I've got to get all that stuff moved back into the greenhouse because we're getting like 45-degree weather nights around here. Oh, you just put your girls back in with a ram. I had mine in there all together this year, just did not think about it, didn't separate the ram. He was a young ram, and I should have separated him. So mine are going to be, hopefully, they're going to have them a little earlier than I really wanted them to, guys. We know when it started. You know how that goes. So once it starts, they tend to hit pretty doggone close. And I've got to get my barn situation up so that once we have one, I can, I'm hoping that Wild Mama, the one that disappeared when I first got her, when we were unloading her, she escaped and she ran the woods here. I got 40 acres and then there's 500 acres beside me across the street. And then there's 80 something acres on one side. No, 120 acres beside me here. All of this is empty land. And then there's timberland behind me and a big creek. So she ran up and down the creeks out there, and the apartment complex down at the end of down on the close to the Kill Boulevard called me and said, because I'm the only farmer around here, and they called and said, you have a sheep missing. And I said, yeah. And they said, well, it came through on one of our cameras last night. And said she came through and she didn't stop to eat, and said we'd seen her once before and she was stopping and eating their real nice grass over there. He said she wasn't gone but about 5 minutes, and about 6 coyotes come through behind her, same trail sniffing the ground. So they were following her, and she still survived after that. So she's a pretty smart old girl. I've called her Wild Mama ever since, and it just stuck. But I think she bred first, and so once she has hers, the rest of them will get. And she's an excellent mother. She's right there with them. She don't want you touching her. I mean, she's a very protective mother. So when she has hers, the rest of the girls will go up until they have theirs, and they're nursing them good this year. We had our young ram separate, but he kept busting through. Not sure when we're going to keep. I understand that, not keeping one year round. I do understand that. I've even thought about just renting a ram. I've got a friend that has a real nice sheep farm. He's got hundreds, or his granddaughter actually, but he takes care of them. It's his farm. But they're his sheep. It used to be an old dairy. And so he's got hundreds, or they, I guess, have hundreds of them. And in fact, I got some of my girls from him. And I've talked to him about just leasing one for about a month there and getting them in there in October. That way they'll have their babies in February, March, something like that. But, they could even wait as far as November to breed. And that way the babies would come in late March or 1st of April, and it wouldn't be so doggone cold here, But anyhow, I don't know what I'm going to do about that. But I would like to know exactly, within a 2 or 3 week period of when they're going to have them. So like I say, if Wild Mom has her baby first, or her baby, she had twins last time, had twins before. So I'm expecting her to have twins again, at least twins. And she has big babies, huge babies. So whatever she has, we're hoping that she will have her babies. And as soon as she drops one or whatever, then I'll put the others up, and I'll have them where they stay in one of the paddocks down here close to the house. So I don't have to worry about coyotes. She's licking my chin, guys. I don't know what, if I taste like salt or what. I haven't gotten a shower. I got a bath today. She's licking my neck. Oh, goodness. We had a young, yeah. But yeah, you gotta have some pretty strong doggone fencing. I have an area that I can keep my ram separately, but he will not be happy about it. And they holler back and forth all the time when the girls aren't right there. So if I'm going to do it this next year, I'm going to have to get me a better situation if I'm going to keep my ram, or else I'm just going to rent or lease one from him, and that way I'll have that situation solved. But old Frankie has been doing his job with the 3 females. In fact, One of them is not quite a year old. She'll be a year old in January, so I doubt she's going to breed. But I know Sarah and Nutbush are both bred. That's my two sheep. Yeah, so much hollering. And they do really good. Even the sheep, the goats, I've got them up here in the paddock right by the house. It's almost an acre, and it has almost the whole entire fence is cattle panel, and then it has 1 by 1 inch square around it because I've had all kinds of animals in there, guys. And so got the 1 by 1 square stuff out of some material. Joey brought home a bunch of metal from back when he was working. They come out of some kind of air conditioner. Don't you bite me, you little devil. Anyway, so some kind of thing, and they had these things in there. So I sat out there and took them all apart, and I put them all the way around this pasture. There's only a few spots that it's not at. So see, it's a good safe place. So if Nutbush has 4 babies this year, guys, nothing's going to get them. I'm going to make darn sure of that. This losing babies, they all disappeared. No biting, no clawing in my mouth, you little nasty buzzard. And don't give me that look either. Give me a dirty look like, what are you talking about? But we're going to make darn sure we don't lose those babies this time. She had 4 beautiful little babies this past season, and every one of them about disappeared at one time, not hiding her hair there. And she had her head hung in the fence, so I'm willing to bet that someone got them because they were playing and, right there all around their mama. And at that time, it was back there where I had cattle wire, and those babies were tiny. So, of course, they'd run in and out of the fence. So I feel like, and it was on the backside of my property, so I feel like they disappeared, probably somebody from the apartments or something that were, they're all forever. I'm having to run them out of my, off the property, people, they want to get back there and ride their bikes. And I've even had people with 4-wheelers and stuff, because they go and play on that timber company land. And then, of course, it connects to my land. Look, you're going to have to go down. You're getting too aggressive, little devil. Anyway, it connects to my land. And I'm thinking that there was probably somebody back there doing something, riding 4-wheelers or something that shouldn't have been, and had gotten over on our land. And anyway, so we're hoping that this season, if we have a lot of babies, that we don't lose any of them from something that way. If we lose them naturally, there's nothing you can do about that. Yep, sharp little claws. Those claws are horrible. And she knows just exactly how to use them. But yeah, these sheep, every time you walk out the door, they go to hollering if they're out here. Now, they go back up to the big pasture with Lightning. Lightning's my horse. And they go back in the big pasture with Lightning. But when Lightning comes back, they tend to come back too. I guess they just consider that their herd. I don't know. But and they stay here at the barn at night. So I don't have to worry about them at nighttime, like Cody's getting them at nighttime because the barn's lit up and everything else. So that's not a problem. So this year we're hoping that we don't lose any kind of critters at all. And maybe our luck will turn around on animals too, as far as births. I don't know if you heard me. We lost both of the puppies that Rosie had. She tended to want to carry them around too much and injured them, and they just died. Bless their hearts. She did not have, her nipples were inverted and her boobs were extremely swollen. Just covered her whole nipple up, and I was having to tube feed them. Even though they were gaining weight and all, she was just so spazzy, guys. And we're going to make sure that that's not an issue again. She's 5 years old, and I never really intended to breed her, even though she did breed to a registered Yorkie, and she's a registered Yorkie. We're going to solve that problem here in the next couple of weeks, next couple of months anyhow, before she could go in heat again. But, that's just the way it is. But anyway, the video that I put out with the Rosie having the puppies, guys, had music to it. But YouTube flagged it, and I had to allow them to cut the music out so it has no music on it, which would have made a whole lot more sense when you got all those spots that don't have any sound at all. So next time I've got to figure out how to make sure I don't get any music that gets flagged, even though I got that from Filmora, for some reason it still got flagged. So that's just the way it goes. Let's see what else is going on around here. Getting a few more eggs than I was getting. There for a while I wasn't getting any eggs, and several people said that theirs were yeah, I'm gonna have to use the YouTube free music. The only thing about that is I did not realize that they were going to flag it, or I would have picked out some music and added it to it before I downloaded it to go on the on that video. So next time I'm just going to pick some music straight from YouTube and put it over there just like the other guys. And I am setting up, in case anybody wants to know, I really started this channel for the grandkids to be able to see what's going on here at home, because some of them live way out of, well, several states, 1,000 miles away, sometimes in another country. Being military, so you just never know what to think. And I've got about 20 videos, and I still have to change. Yep. I know how that goes. Bless your heart. So I did find, if it's music that is not, if you put the title, where the music came from, and the title of the music when you download it from Filmora, if it's not a specialty music and they don't want to charge you for that music, if it's music that they don't charge you for, is what I'm trying to get out. If you put it in the description, YouTube doesn't flag it. And I had done that thinking that that music would not be a problem, but for some reason YouTube flagged it, and they just give me an option. And instead of fighting it, I just said, just exit the music out. And that's what they did. Yeah, the artist retracted I believe that's probably exactly what happened, So anyhow, you know how that goes. They sign them up and they say, oh yeah, you can have our music. And then after a while, they realize how much their music's being used, and they want to get paid for that music. So they decide they want to get started getting them few little pennies off of it. And I don't want to have to pay that. Now, several of mine, I split my revenue with them, but I'm not making enough to have to worry about that, And all the money that I've made so far is going to breast cancer research and breast cancer awareness, guys. I don't know if you guys know that. A lot of you do, but I am a breast cancer survivor. Had total mastectomy with bilateral reconstruction, and doing good with my life so far. So my money, unless for no more money than I am making now. At first I was just going to donate a percentage, but no more money than I am making now. Everything that I make is going straight to breast cancer research and all. So I'm writing to see if they let it go. Yep, that's exactly what I've done. I always go back in there when they dispute it. When YouTube sends me their notification, I always say, this is so-and-so and so-and-so, free music from Filmora, Wondershare, Filmora, whatever. And so far, they've come back. It may be 2 or 3 months before they get around to coming back and letting me know. But so far, all of them but 2, they've approved. So 2 of them, they said I would have to share my revenue from, and I just said, fine, I'm not making anything anyway, even though I've got 4,500, 4,400 subscribers. My subscribers tend not to watch all my videos, and I know that I'm not that great videographer, so, the way I look at it, if I'm making any money, it's going to a good cause, and if it doesn't, you know how that goes. Oh, they did it, and you're paying extra for the music. Jesus, I'm not paying. I paid extra for certain ones, but there's other ones that are not free that they've got now on Filmora. In fact, Filmora has gotten so expensive And we don't have StreamYard anymore. You got to subscribe to StreamYard and pay that. That's getting outrageous. So I've just started doing my lives right here on the YouTube studio channel. In fact, I was very cautious tonight. In fact, I called Jerry and asked him. Well, I sent him a text and he didn't answer. So then I tried to call him and he called me back and I said, is YouTube something going on with YouTube? Because I got a notice and it came up when I signed into YouTube. The background on YouTube. It said that. Okay, DaVinci is supposed to be really good, but DaVinci is a lot more complicated from what I understand. And I really liked it with Filmora because I could say, hey, how do I do this? And it would come up with a little tutorial that would tell me, step by step exactly what I had to do. And it made it so much easier for me because I'm one of those monkey see, monkey do people. I can't read instructions or read something and understand it. It just doesn't click up here. I'm a hands-on type of person. It's just it's always been that way. If I can see it and touch it and do it, I can usually do it. But otherwise, I can't read it until you figure out how to do something, especially in instructions and like computer stuff. It just goes right over my head. So that had made it so much easier for me. And guys, I didn't grow up in this computer era. I'm 66 years old. Back when I started out with computers, we had floppy disks. So things are so much different from when they were. And I hadn't dealt with, when I worked as a mechanic for 20 years, the computer, all you had to do, it was like monkey see, monkey do. You just put in simple things. You didn't have to go outside and bring this in and share this and do this. It was all right there in one place. And, it wasn't like you really were doing anything on a computer. We dealt with a laptop that we used and we'd punch in measurements and this and that and the other, and it had a space for it and you knew where it went, that kind of thing. And all of our other stuff was handwritten, so we really did not have any computer training as far as that goes, even though some of the folks still had trouble with that. I was real good at that part. Like I say, monkey see, monkey do. I can handle it that way. I don't know about you guys, but it's just not easy for me. In fact, Jerry did a class with me. He went live, and then I put the headset on or the chest set on so he could actually see what I was doing and he could tell me what I was doing wrong. And he had what he was doing pulled up on the screen. We had it pulled up on the screen so I could see, and he was showing me as I was doing it too. Plus I have to write it down because until I do it a couple of times, and I have to write it down in words that I understand, guys. The real simple text, click here, go here, left hand bottom, that kind of stuff for me to figure it out. I am not computer savvy whatsoever. But anyway, it's been definitely a learning curve here. All I can say is do the best I can, and if they don't like it, I hate it for them. They'll have to watch it, and obviously a lot of them don't. But that's the way it goes, guys. That's the way it goes. But life has been kind of depressing for me here lately. I don't know if it's just with all the stuff going on. This is the time of year too that I have a lot more aches and pains with the lupus. So, and I stopped taking the injectable medications that I was taking because my insurance won't cover it. And I'm trying to take the holistic approach to that. And I guess all of that kind of stuff is just causing issues. Sometimes I think, this YouTube thing is getting kind of old for me. Sometimes it's forcing, it feels like if I could just video it and go on and I didn't have to mess with the rest of it, it would be good. But the editing part just absolutely drives me crazy, guys. But anyway, we're going to stick in here as long as I can stand it. And then when it gets to that point where I can't, I just won't do it anymore. But anyway, guys, we got about 10 more minutes, and I just want to tell all of y'all and remind you that I could not do what I am doing now if it wasn't for you guys. All the support, the love that you guys show, the comments that you put on my videos, it really makes me feel good to be sharing with some people that do actually enjoy my old country self. You know what I'm doing. Joey asked me today, he's going to bring the camera down here? I said, no, I don't think they want to watch my butt pick up some rotten logs. So anyway, you know how that goes. It just things. I got lots of stuff on there. I've just not made the conscious in my brain. I'm going to sit here and try to put out a video from this junk that I've got recorded here and try to make it interesting. So I have to convince myself to sit down and do it, guys. It's really it's hard. It's hard for me to make myself sit down here and do that. I'm not a person that likes to sit still. I guess y'all can tell because I'm constantly wiggling and back and forth and messing with my hair and scratching, and I just can't sit still, guys. I'm one of those people. I've always been like that. But yeah, they are very genuine. Yeah, they're very genuine, Avita. That's for darn sure. And I try to be positive. I try to be, this is me. And, you know, I'm me. I'm the same person. If you meet me here and you see me on here, you're going to see the same person when you see me. If you run into me in town, you're going to see the same person that you see right here on these videos. I don't doll up. I don't try to be something I'm not. Half the time my hair is piled up on top of my head. I don't have on matching clothes. In fact, my daughter's husband back years ago told her that I should have been her dad and her dad should have been her mom because he was always dressed so and, you know, perfect. And there I was out there in mismatched clothes and barefooted or something. But, you know, that's the way it goes. Oh, you get that same. Yeah, I know exactly what you mean, hon. I know. It's just, yeah, you feel like that. You know, you feel like nobody really is going to be interested in this, but I guess there's somebody interested in that. So, you know, maybe somebody out there really likes watching it. And, you know, I make $4 or $5 a month. So, you know, some months more than that, but most of the time it's $4 or $5 a month. But, you know, right now, all of that $4 or $5 a month is going straight to breast cancer research or breast cancer awareness or wigs or something for breast cancer patients. So, you know, that's great. At least it's a little bit that's donated other than what I do with my one-time donation once a year and my donation to St. Jude and the Christian Appalachia group, guys. So anyhow, I just wanted to let y'all know how much I appreciate y'all and that y'all are making this possible for me, especially you guys that come back every week and talk to me and hang out on my channel. And it just makes me feel good to see the returning people, you know, my little patient people that put up with me, I guess. Anyhow, so guys, there are some crazy stuff going on. We had a lady got killed at a darn Halloween party, you know, right here up the road here toward Atlanta this past week. It's just sad. There is so much wickedness, you know, children killing children. And, oh, it's just a sad situation, sad world we're living in right now. Next time, have refreshments. Hey, that would be good. Hey, if I had the right kind of refreshments now, I might relax a little. I don't know about that. Yeah. Anyway, but guys, hopefully things will get better. Thank you, Tamara. Appreciate that. Yeah, hopefully things will get better and the world will get better. And all we can do is pray for that and hope that this whole world changes, guys. My little grandson is about 6-7 weeks old now. Cute as he can be. Got the roundest little face you have ever seen. They went and ate with us, or Haley and he went and ate with us for Johnny's Pizza this past Friday. And he was cute as he could be, all dressed up in his little Halloween sweatpants, sweatshirt. He was a little skeleton. And it was just funny as it could be, guys. So we really enjoyed that. Got to see him. And poor Haley, she's trying to be the perfect mother, guys. She wakes him up. She wakes him up to give him a bottle, and I told her, "You get out of that." But that's just the way it goes. She wants to do everything exactly like the doctors say. But yeah, that's right. That's right. You guys all have a great week. We will see y'all all next week. Appreciate y'all being in here, and y'all go over and check out some more people. I forget who's coming on after me. It changes every week. There's pop-ups. But I appreciate y'all. I love you guys, and I will see y'all all next Monday. Bye. Yeah, yeah. Thanks, guys. Bye.